Okay, after that last one we did here, it was a long one. Everyone wants to be paid, but no one wants to work. We got a little bit of a reprieve here, everybody. Micro reflections for the 21st century, and I'm Brian, the founder of Medicine Box, with the vision of equal parts medicine and mentorship to create full health sovereignty. And I've been doing these readings for you all just to shift your perspective on worldviews, ideologies, belief systems. Do what you may with them. Take what you need. Leave the rest. And if you like how these are conducted, we usually do some fun prompts and discussions during our weekly integration meetings that we host for our customers that are on a 90-day journey back to you with our microdosing products, as well as our micro tracker, food for thought recipe book based on ingredients to support your cognitive health. What else we got in there? Supportive nootropic product. That's the Mind's Eye Harmonize. The Mind's Eye Introspection is the microdose product. This book of reflections. And a nice simple journal to track all your progress in this journey, and the free community platform that we're often posting in and educating others and receiving all your feedback, which is pretty awesome. So this one is a nice, it kind of is like it's the next kind of leap from this one. Everyone wants to be paid, but no one wants to work. Just as a refresher, is like we all want to get to the thing. We all want to achieve the result. We all want to get the big fat paycheck or the car or the house. Okay, those are all the material things. And if you remember, it's not a panacea. The opposite side of the same coin. It's not the magical illusionary escapism with the removal of all critical thought and rational decision making. We have to have both. We have to have this like connection to the spiritual in the material. As Alan Watts, the great religious philosopher and spiritual teacher, he was all about, his kind of teachings revolved around this theme of integrating the spiritual world with the material weirdness, right? Follow your weird, and like the neurosis of the human experience, and merging them together or integrating them together, making them whole. Remember, we're on this earth for a reason, okay? And it is to understand how to be human, as we are all spiritual beings having this human experience. I don't always like saying that. We're all spiritual beings having a human experience. It's kind of overplayed, but that's essentially what is going on in this grand earth that we are, and merging the material with the spiritual. That's the work here. So it doesn't happen overnight. Everyone wants to be paid, but no one wants to work, but it doesn't happen overnight. So what we all have been given is a daily reprieve. We all have been given that with choice. Today is a brand new day. Yesterday happened. It is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And the future is not there yet. The present moment is right here. And what we have all been given with that present moment, if we choose to do so, is a daily reprieve from our pesky thoughts, addictions, anxieties, depressions, contingent on our spiritual condition. And this is amplified by microdosing our way into a deeper awareness of self. And this concluding quote, as you know, we put a concluding quote at the end of this to really just kind of like cinch in, tie it in, galvanize, cultivate like the essence of the passage. Mindfulness makes us respond to reality rather than fantasy. Henry A. Giroux. Mindfulness makes us respond to reality. This reciprocal interchange of our internal environment with the external material world. That's really the reality that we are creating. Not fantasy. Not the pesky thoughts, the addictions, the anxieties, the depressions. So this daily reprieve that I talk about here, is we have a brand new 24 hours. And are we going to obsess about what we did yesterday, what we said yesterday, what we didn't get given to us yesterday, how we lost control yesterday, what, Susie said to us yesterday, what Karen said to us yesterday? And are we going to take that and muck up this reprieve of this present day awareness that we have? So we can choose, easier said than done, to remove it, the pesky thoughts, and not obsess about them. Addictions, anxieties, and depressions, they kind of all jumble up there, which is contingent on our spiritual condition. And our spiritual condition might need just a little bit of attunement. Maybe, for example, I'll give you a good example. This morning, you know what? I'm going to meditate for twice as long as I normally do. Normally, it's just 22 minutes of meditation in the morning. And today I was like, I'm going to do 40. Okay. 40 minutes, technically twice as long would be 44, but 40 minutes just to weed out some of the garden of the mind, right? The weedy garden of the mind that occurred yesterday. So the daily reprieve was based on was contingent on the spiritual condition of how I started the day. And this is amplified by microdosing our way into a deeper awareness of self. So microdosing, okay, is a great amplifier, right? It can amplify the tools that we already have. And sometimes there's people that don't have those tools yet. So we teach, I call it M&M, microdosing and meditation, teach simple little practices, tips and tricks to really bring some awareness to self. Maybe it's just taking a deep breath. Simple as maybe journaling, calling a friend, right? Picking up the phone and calling your mom or your dad if you were so lucky to have a mom and dad on this physical plane still. Called my mom and my dad yesterday, and it was awesome. Staring into the horizon, looking at a tree, listening to the birds, doing all these little things to cultivate a little bit more mindfulness so we can respond to reality rather than the fantasy in their mind. So those fantasies are the pesky thoughts, the addictions, the anxieties, and depressions. And addiction is just simply an escape from the present moment because we don't know how to sit with the fear of our thoughts that we've created, the anxiety around what might come up. Okay? And the more that we shoot for this instant gratification and the short-term relief of an addiction, we are suffering negative consequences in the long term. So, again, this doesn't happen overnight. This daily reprieve that is contingent on our spiritual condition is the work. That is the practice. Okay, so how do we dissolve that? How do we dissolve the anxieties and the pesky thoughts? Some of our members have reported to us in these integration meetings, which is awesome, is like they close their eyes and they think of pushing the thought like into their heart, right? The heart is where the mind goes to rest. So if we can like think about pushing the thought into our heart and then letting it channel out and dissolve, right? Maybe it dissolves in like compassion and understanding and maybe empathy out there, or giving it a word, right? A word to shift maybe the meaning that the mind has created about this anxiety or the self-doubt or maybe the insecurity. And how do we do that? We practice, and we use our microdosing ally to help us develop these practices and stay consistent and frequent with your intention, plus the introspection that the microdosing does, and opens us up to a whole new realm of possibilities and creates a deeper awareness of self. That's really what this all is about. The 90-day journey back to you that we offer is really just to achieve deeper awareness, self-awareness achieved. It's as simple as that, but our mind gets in the way and we like to just sabotage it all. And it's okay when that happens because we are human beings, and that's why we are sometimes neurotic, and sometimes we label ourselves as crazy, or sometimes we get triggered and irritable and restless and discontent. That's not the daily reprieve that we've given ourselves. That's contingent on our spiritual condition. But when we have awareness around why we are irritable, restless, discontent, why we are feeling triggered, why we are doing these things that are not grounded or regulated in our nervous system, the awareness might be like, oh, dude, chill out. Get some rest. Put the computer down. Go outside. Do something other than you're doing right now and sit with it. Sit with all of that and let it dissolve into the deeper sphere of the universe. Like, I like to do this. Get out of me. Like, think I'm like putting my hand in my head and just throwing the thought out. Or I scream, get that out of my head. Bleep, 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 bleep. Control, Alt, Delete is a good one. And return to sender. But remember, everybody, this doesn't happen overnight. Thank you for letting me riff on these passages. I don't prepare for any of these. I just read, and then whatever happens, happens. That's the beauty of being in the present moment. So no preparation. Be like a musician and just improvise. Life is improvisational, as I always say. Cheers.